ALG really saved me. I put all of my success on joining this group. People constantly checking in saved me.
I made so many friends with people that I've never met, but I feel incredibly close to, and I consider them family.
It really is a family. It is a place where you can just be yourself and there is no judgment. There is no shame. You are so welcome there.
Nobody has to be in this alone. Everybody is either going through or has gone through the same thing at one point.
Let's do this.
Welcome back to the ALG podcast family. What's going on? I am back. It has been 2 long weeks, but I am here and I am here to stay. And not only that, my bag came back a little heavier. So if you're watching this on the YouTube, I have a medal in my hand.
It's not real.
It's real, baby.
He bought it at the convenience store. It's not real.
It's real deal, Paul O'Neill. I'm going to skip the normal intro that we would normally do for right now because it's been a while.
Don't chip your
since we
tooth.
last spoke. Yeah, I know. This is thick metal right here.
I'll be honest though, if you would have been able to crank out the sponsorships, the everything, the sequence, I would have been kind of impressed because it's been a minute. No, I don't, because we're already past it. We're already past it. Nope. I don't think you can remember your promo code. I just don't think you can do it.
I could remember my fucking promo code. All right. Anyway, my bag came back heavier. We placed second in the men's transformation class at Summer Shreds in Houston, Texas, and we are happy.
We need a button.
Yeah. Well, when we upgrade the podcast equipment, I want to get the board.
Little board you make. We have.
Yeah.
How cool would be?
Anthony has the board.
We need a board with dope. Specialty statements and shit. What would? All right. If you could have one
sunshine and rainbows. Sunshine and rainbows. Sunshine and rainbows.
All right, that was good. Or beach
science.
Beach house. Science. I'm not gonna lie. I would love to have science.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it would need to have a graphic over your head the whole time.
Yeah.
So, I missed?
Fuck. I mean, it's been. I think.
Did you even do 2 episodes? I haven't even checked your homework.
So I'll be honest. No, I was about to, and then. I think it's important to know the sequence. Obviously, a lot of people in the ALG community know my dad donated his kidney to my brother. My brother was in late stage kidney failure and was on dialysis for the last year and a half. Well, the best bed for him, because we were all staying at the condo, was the office. And that's where all my audio equipment was and my podcast. And dad's drugged out of his mind for 10 days. And I'm like, I'm just not gonna be that guy and be like, Dad, I need you to get out of here so I can do a podcast. So I was like, yeah, it's not a big deal. So
for the 4 listeners that stuck around,
the dog ate my homework. So
yeah, no, dog ate your homework. That's fine. So we're back. We're back in the New York. But
straight up, you know what's crazy though? Our weekly downloads didn't drop that much.
They can't drop when you only have 2 people that know. I love our family. I'm only being
it's super. I was waiting for it just to tank, and honestly, we still been doing about 1,000 downloads a month and going strong.
We have a very loyal listening ship, so I appreciate that. This last 16 weeks, folks, was an adventure, man. It was something that I did not expect. So if you have not seen on my Instagram, I had just posted the stats of the full prep. And so when I started my prep back at the end of July, I weighed in at an astounding 272 pounds.
272.
Which is 12 pounds heavier than my normal weight, which I attest that to. I had just had surgery a few months prior. I had surgery in February. I had COVID. And it sounds like I'm making excuses, but I'm really not. This was just life going on, and that's what happens,
Guess what? You can fluctuate 10 pounds and be healthy.
Absolutely. So clocked in at 272. When I stepped on stage, David, it was 214 pounds.
Still lighter than you. I still beat you by 2 pounds, so you're a bitch.
You're a fucking 1.5 feet shorter than me. You're not even allowed to ride the big roller coaster.
212. Yeah. I still got that on you. Yeah, I was 212 stage weight.
That's great. I was 214. You know the last time I was 214? I was probably 12.
Like 12.
It was crazy. It was
so
wild.
dope.
No, it was insane.
And then you did full water, all that stuff.
Full water manipulation.
Yep,
went in.
yep.
Yeah, man. It was crazy. Went in like a fucking real bodybuilder. Had my coach with me the whole time. Did the tanning, did the water manipulation, did it all, man. It was nuts. Do you know that I never want to taste pink salt for at least another month?
So on a serious note, now you're still on that high. So it's one of those things where the question I have, and this is where the danger of I hate the word addiction, because obviously it gives it a lot of power, but right. People obsess over their stage feeling and look, because what you have to do to get to there is so extreme, and it's so short-lived because it takes so much of water manipulation, carb manipulation, all this kind of stuff to get there. When you think of yourself, and obviously you're still in a great place right now, when you think of stage weight and stage look compared to now, has that affected you? Like, fuck, I want to be there again. I missed that. Or are you in a good, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm still coming down off the high of the week. But for the most part, like, I know what I did and where I was at is unsustainable for myself. Yep. I could never live a day-to-day life at 214 pounds. I would never want to. I was very comfortable. Like, in this process, I found where my body is most comfortable and where I would like to be full time. Now, being addicted to the process, absolutely. I fell in love with prep. I want to do this again. I will do this again in the future. So we'll get that straight out of the way, because I know that's a question that's going to pop up.
Got a serious note. Are we competing?
Like against each other?
Can we do like a competition?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm down. We could do it. Can we just like wait a little while? Because
we're gonna wait a little bit. No, yeah. But I'm saying, like, I want to have like a competition where loser has to do something ridiculous.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, but I think
I get the keys to the beach house if I win.
It's not mine to give away.
It is. I know it is. I know eventually it is.
Loser has to go to a Mets game in a pink man thong, and it says "I love the Yankees" on it, on their butt cheeks.
All right. Yeah, we'll talk it over. I'll have my people call your people to iron out the details. But we could definitely do a little friendly gentleman's competition.
I like it. All right,
absolutely.
Keep going.
No, so yeah, I mean, the process itself, very easy to fall in love with. If you're getting into the bodybuilding world and you're not already in love with fitness, and you're not in love with, going to the gym and rigorous schedule and just all that stuff, obviously this is not for you. You're not gonna relate, but this lifestyle is something that I really enjoy. I got to watch my best friend, compete in his first show when I first started my weight loss journey 6 years ago, and he's done, several shows since. So, like, I knew what I was getting myself into, and I enjoyed watching him do it. And just because of how me and him are, I knew that, that would rub off on me, which it did. And I really can't say enough, like, how much I really enjoyed prep. Like, I think I'm crazy.
Well, my big thing there is why I love bodybuilding competitions and that whole world outside of the crazy pharmaceuticals. Now, if you get into trend and all this kind of shit that is going to hurt your health, that's a whole different world. But the idea of having something on a yearly or bi-yearly basis to compete with yourself, to push yourself, I think bodybuilding has a longer lifespan than most things.
Yes.
Because marathon running, you can only do that so much before your knees just give out. The Ironmans, all these types of things on that realm of competition, where it's just like there's a certain point where your body just it hurts more than it helps.
It gives up. Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like, but bodybuilding, you can, outside of the last little bit of water manipulation and like doing that world, it's a really healthy thing. Like you're just leaning out.
Yeah.
You're just leaning out. You're putting on muscle. It's not crazy. You're not hurting your joints. And so that's why I love it. Like, I think it'll be like a
peak week is a fucking mess.
Peak week is tough. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like when you get in the water stuff, that's a different world. But outside of that, it's a very normal, again, not getting into the crazy pharmaceuticals and all that kind of thing. We're not trying to.
I will tell you this. My athletic career is very short-winded. A season and a half of Pee Wee football, 2 seasons of T-ball, professional wrestler for like the last 4 years or so, you know, when the world is opened up and doing things. This doesn't hurt like wrestling does. So, you know, this is, I like this. I mean, not to say that I don't love wrestling and I won't continue with that, but I can see myself doing this on a consistent level. I'll leave it at that. I like it. I enjoyed it. I like to be able to push myself mentally. You know, I was having this conversation with Michelle earlier, my fiance, and like the reason why I even signed up for Summer Shredding was because you know, in July, I was extremely depressed. And why I was extremely depressed was basically because of the fact that surgery, when I had my chest surgery done, it took a lot out of me mentally. And I don't know why. To this day, I don't know why, you know, it took such a number on my head, but it did. And I had a conversation with myself, and it was like, I had become such a hugely goal-driven person since the start of my weight loss journey that I had convinced myself that I had reached the top of the proverbial mountain and there was nothing else to do. And that really fucked with me, like really badly. And, you know, if it wasn't for guys like Poro, who did this, you know, he won the first show that they ever put on. So if it wasn't for, you know, guys like him paving the way and for Athlete putting on this show, I don't know if I would have ever, you know, done this and found out that I enjoyed this. But this was something I needed. I needed a big goal to push towards. It was a nice 16 weeks of just grinding out, and ultimately reaching stage, because that's what also a lot of people need to understand when it comes to this. Especially, you know, if you're listening to this and you know what summer shredding is, and you're thinking about joining and doing summer shredding next year, specifically the transformation class for men or women, you have to understand, when you get to that show, you won already. You know what I mean? Like this is not a you versus the guy next to you type of situation. This is a you versus you thing. And it's up to you to give it all you got the whole way through. You know what I mean? So if you're a very goal-driven person and you like to compete with yourself, definitely, if this is something that you're thinking about doing, for sure.
Well, I think that's because it is funny, because I remember no, I'm serious. When I had you on my first podcast before it pivoted into ALG and everything we did there, that was first time ever meeting, I made the comment to you, because I was post comp. I asked you the question, would you do a competition? And I remember you were like, I don't think it's for me. And you were not very into it back then. But like,
I would like you to replay. I'm very interested in knowing, because like, since I started my journey, I've always said eventually I would like to be on stage. I might have said that it might not be for me for what was going on in maybe it was my life.
I just remember like, maybe you weren't in that time.
But no, in that time frame, I was not.
You weren't in that mind. Like, I'm going to compete next year.
But also in that timeline, in that time frame, rather, there was no shows doing a transformation division. You know, so like
you were competing with Juiced more
exactly
monster next to you. Yeah,
exactly. And the beautiful thing about this, specifically the transformation division, is that if you are somebody who has come from, you know, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be someone who lost 300 pounds. Like, forget that part. But like, if you wanted to dip your toe in the bodybuilding realm and you just didn't know how, maybe you didn't want to just jump into a classic physique type of situation, this is the way you dip your toe in the water. Like, this is how you find out if this is something for you, because again, a lot goes into it. I will tell you that. And you know, I've gotten this question a lot of the time. Is bodybuilding a cheap sport? It's not. No, this is all about personal investment. food costs a lot of money to prep, and you're constantly prepping, and your diet is constantly changing. You know, for me, my prep changed bi-weekly, you know, so at any given time, something would be adjusted, something can change, and food costs money. At the end of the day, food costs money, and it's a lot of money. It's a lot of upkeep, you know, travel expenses, all that. You know, it was obviously, don't go and do a show in Texas if you have something that's closer to you. But, you know, it's definitely an investment. It's a personal investment. But if you are of a person who likes to push themselves to their absolute limits and you like to crush goals, I would recommend doing this.
So then how is the post pivot? Because like you're in a you have the potential
to be in a danger zone.
Yeah. When you cut that hard and you're down to 1,400, 1,200 calories and all this kind of stuff. And if you don't, what's called reverse diet, which is
so that's what I'm doing right now.
Slowly bringing those calories back up. It's crazy. And not even that. Post competition, just say 48 hours after, when you start eating relatively normal, what'd you go from? What was your stage weight, and then where are you at now?
So stage weight, I was 214. Yesterday I weighed in at 234.
Yeah, so 20 pounds. Now
again, that's a lot of water.
It's out of the 20 pounds, probably 16 of it is water, if not more.
Yeah, it's not body fat. It'd be relatively impossible for it to be body fat. But I'm sorry, you asked something and I totally cut you off. Like,
no, you're good. I was just talking about like that post sequence feeling. I guess that in and of itself, how was that feeling going from 214 stage weight to 5 days later, you're 234? Did that get to you at all? You're like, what the fuck?
I laughed.
Yeah.
I legitimately laughed.
Yeah. I can totally get you.
Because I know that mentally, like being in the 230s by itself was really big for me, you know, because like the lowest I had ever gone was like 242. So like I'm still in a really good spot. Like if you know, you follow what I'm saying? But like I know that it's not body fat. It's really impossible. And I didn't like go off the deep end. You know, once the show had ended, you know, I had my fun. My coach allowed me to have, you know, XYZ amount of meals that were like, okay, you can have whatever you want. And then now we're starting the reverse diet, you know? So I've been doing reverse dieting now. Last night I did have steak. I had a little bit of potato, but you know,
primary, for anyone listening, the primary goal of reverse diet is because you are when you cut that hard, your metabolism goes down. That's just the reality. And so this is one of the biggest issues with, if you're morbidly obese, and if you try to cut too hard, too fast, you can crank out your metabolism, and you can drop your metabolism to the point where you could eat only 1,900 calories. But if your metabolism is at 1,700, you can technically gain weight eating 1,900 calories.
Fast.
Now, I will be the first one to say most people don't tank their metabolism. Some do, but it's also an overly dramatized thing because most people are still just overly eating.
Right. But I will tell you, when I got off stage though, had, you know, obviously I had water, I had something to eat. That night my body just swelled up, you know, because it was just like, it was just getting life again, you know? So that was not frightening to see, but it was shocking to see because I know how depleted I was. So to see my body actually absorb everything, because that's what you have to remember too. It's like your body is going to instantly absorb everything that you are putting into your body at that point, because it has been so, I don't like to use the word deprived, but it's been deprived of everything. You are depleted beyond belief. Now that post-show pump though, that is,
especially when it's a big carb meal too, where you just like all the glycogen fills the muscles, and you're just it's wild. I 100%.
But see, but like I'm such a loser because like I told myself I was going to be very lenient with myself when it came to eating afterward. Like, you deserve this. You did 16 weeks.
I ate like an asshole.
So like I got off stage and my team had gotten Chick-fil-A, and they got me a chicken sandwich. Do you know I still didn't even allow myself to really eat that much of the bun? Like I ate like a quarter of the bun, and I like threw the sandwich at Steve, and I was like, "Take this. I don't want it."
That's funny. Yeah,
And then I went to eat the grilled nuggets from Chick-fil-A, and I was like, fuck this. This tastes like meal prep. I was like, get this out of my
Oh
face.
yeah. Fuck. I mean, I remember my post was I had Reese's. I had two different like bars. Like one was a brownie bar, one was like a Snickers bar thing.
Yeah.
And I went to Red Robin and I had a double decker burger and fries. All that was one night. That's what I had.
Yeah.
I ate like an asshole.
I did have though Barilla tacos, the tacos that you dip in like the, I don't know if you've seen it online.
The sauce.
Yeah, the red sauce.
Yep.
That was really good. I had those. And then
Okay.
later that night we went out for meats.
Mm-hmm.
So really I was not like I was not
you didn't go.
your
You
words,
didn't
I
go.
was not naughty. Like, does
Yeah.
that make sense?
You didn't
I
go
did have-
naughty.
I did have a Reese's.
Oh yeah.
So Reese's has this new peanut brittle in a big cup, and it's just peanut butter, no chocolate, with like this chunky middle. And oh god, it was so fucking good.
Interesting.
Oh, it was so good. I found them in a Walmart in Texas. I was like, I've never seen you before. I need to take you home.
That's funny because I want to finish the statement of reverse diet because I think it's super important, especially for people that are in that realm. When you cut so hard, your basal metabolic rate and everything can go way down. And if you were just to go from 1,400, 1,600, 1,800 calories, and then just go back up to 26, 27, 3,000, your body's just going to go freaking nuts. And so you have to, you add 200 to 400 calories per week over a 6, 8, 12 week time frame.
Yeah.
Where you slowly ramp your metabolism back up, because otherwise your body just sucks everything in.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna, it's not the ideal. I did a poor job. I'll admit it. My reverse diet was, if I were to rank it, a 3 out of 10. I did a pretty poor job. I did good for a week. And then it was just like, I didn't eat like an asshole, but I started having pizza again. And I started just more than I went probably back up to 3,000 calories when I was down to 1,200 pretty quick. And like, that was not.
So right now I'm still very carb. I'm not doing carbs right now.
Okay.
So I'm waiting. I'll probably reintroduce carbs maybe tomorrow, or today's Wednesday, tomorrow or Friday. I'll reintroduce carbs and see how my body reacts.
See, it's so interesting. No, you finish what you're saying.
No. That was really it. Like, so if you were listening to this podcast during the start of my prep, I did like some cleanses. Like, not, it's such a stupid word. I hate the word cleanse because then everyone thinks like you're doing a fucking juice cleanse and you're shitting out your fucking brain. But no. So I've been eating salads. So basically it's just, I'm eating grilled chicken salads with nothing on it, but some like a tablespoon of olive oil and a little bit of apple cider vinegar and some cucumber. That's what I'm eating.
Just super higher fiber and just nothing else.
Yeah. And then, I'm planning on lifting tomorrow.
You're eating like a rabbit. I get it.
Listen, man, it is what it is. All right. I'm trying to do this reverse diet. I'm trying to do this reverse diet like a good boy. And
it's so I was talking to Jay, we got to get Jay on the podcast on here sometime, just on the bodybuilding-esque type world. Jay's a good friend of mine. He's competing to try to get his pro card, and like he's 6 weeks out. And Jay's a freak. Like, he is so awesome. He's a great guy. He's from Michigan, but actually lives near Tampa down here now. And usually, like, I'm actually gonna pull up a picture real quick because he's just yoked. But usually he does a relatively low carb up until competition.
Right.
So that's Jay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's a freak.
See, I was vacuuming too.
Yeah. So
I
like
the vacuum.
I mean, he's just, Jay, I respect you. He's awesome. But for the first time, he's been using he's been doing relatively low fat nutrition with his calories instead of being like high protein, mid carb, low fat, compared to where he usually is high protein, mid fat, low carb. And we were just on the phone. We were talking about the same thing. It is so weird to me that my calories can be the same, but I promise you, I don't have nearly the cravings I do on a lower carb nutrition as compared to a mid carb, low fat I can't tell you why. Like Jay had the same thing. He's like, this is the first time he's incorporated carbs in his cut in this way. And he's like, it's at night. It's just harder. I have these cravings for food more than I ever have on the same calories.
I could see that. I
And
can
it-
definitely see that.
And I can't explain it. Like my only thought is when you have that mid carb, maybe like towards the end of the night, your sugar levels are dropping. And so like now your insulin and sugar is freaking out and all that. I don't know. But it's just super interesting. Him and I had that same kind of experience where low carb is easier to cut on than doing moderate carb. And
I think it is.
you can do it either way. Like, again, we're very much like, hey, do it how you want to do it. Carbs are not the enemy. It's the overconsumption of calories is the enemy.
Oh yeah.
But it is so interesting. I can't tell you why.
So I just wanted to give an example. So the week before I left, we had Rob on the show, right? Was that the week before I left?
Mhm.
So this is me and Rob backstage. Hold on one second. If you guys can see that.
That's dope. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, we both look fucking nutty.
That's dope. How'd you like getting tanned up?
I love it.
It's so weird.
I think I like I really might start doing tanning in real life because
did you sock it or how
oh, I pulled my fucking boxes right up my butt crack. I didn't
Yeah.
I had my shit. I had my shit tucked
like
in.
there's like different levels to it. Like when I did my show, it's like you had some people that wore a fucking sock to get pulled up, and then some people just did in boxers or whatever too.
Yeah.
It just depends on what class you're doing.
So I didn't know about the sock. Steve had told me about the sock later on, and then he was like, "Do you want to do it with the sock or do you want to do it this way?" I was like, "I don't care." And then I just went in the way that I went in, and the lady was just like, "Hey, do me a favor, pull that up your butt crack."
Yeah.
Okay.
So literally, guys, if when you're getting a spray tan, depending on if you're going to the man thongs, you got all you can do to get the spray tan is you wear a sock,
Right.
literally, and it's just
Yeah.
it's so funny.
So I will tell you that I was so the water manipulation, right? And I was so dried out. So everyone kept telling me, "Oh, you're gonna sweat. You're gonna ruin your tan. You're gonna have to get a million touch-ups, during the day." Blah blah. I didn't break a sweat once because I had no fucking water in me.
Yeah, I didn't sweat much either.
So when they played my video when I made the final round, I was emotionally crying, but there was no tears running down my face because I had no fucking water in me. So there's literally Poro has a video of me crying it's just me making faces like a dumbass. Like it's me going, but there's because my body just couldn't produce water. There was no water to be had.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
We were dry.
So then, so you're coming out of this reverse diet. Is there anything in particular you're doing? I mean, obviously you just listen to Steve.
Yeah.
But
God bless that man, dude. God bless that man. God bless him. I hope he listens to this. I will make him specifically listen to this part because God bless that man. Having him as a coach, regardless of the fact that he's my best friend and now going to be, one of my best men in my wedding, but like he literally, when he picked me up for us to go to the airport on Thursday to go down to Texas, he looked at me and he goes, "You can turn off your brain now." He goes, "I will take care of everything from here." He goes, "I know where you have to go, when you have to be there, when you need to go tan, when you need to go lift, how much you need to eat." He goes, "I will heat up your food. I will clean up after you. You do not have to do anything." He goes, "I do not want you stressed. I want you to stay focused and just let me handle everything." I didn't lift a finger. That man is a saint. That man is a saint for what he did for me this weekend. So shout out to Steve. I love him more than life itself. Get a coach like that. That is the definite. He goes, "This is what was done for me when I did, when I started bodybuilding, when I get a coach." He goes, "So I'm going to pass this on and do the same for you." And I was like, "Dude, thank you." Like I didn't have to worry about anything. That's nice. Dope. Yeah, it was nice. It was very nice.
So then how was it? Cause I know you've met some of the different people at the competition. Who was a first time meet for you? I mean, obviously you've already met Dez. You've already been with Rob. Both
Lexes, if you guys know Lex Green and Lex Losing, well, I can't think of her last name off the top of my head. I do apologize. Both the Lexes was the first time I met. they were really cool. Now you're going to make, because I don't want to mess up people's names, so I have to take out the handy dandy Instagram because that's just how I am. Do you know Paige, Just Dream Paige? She became in second in the women's transformation division. We have been following each other for 4.5 years now. And this was the first time that we met, and we both took home second in our division. Fun. So I thought that was really cool. Trying to think off the top of my head. I mean, dude, there were so many people that I followed on Instagram, or they followed me on Instagram, that we got to meet for the first time. It was very cool. It was like it's like everything that you think Instagram is in the palm of your hand. Like if you look at this as like an online community, being in that community in real life for a whole weekend, that was cool.
I think that's got to be a big thing right there, where it's like, there's so much of that where I'm excited for ALG to do that for the first time, where we have a meetup somewhere.
Yeah.
And it makes things just more real. And you're like, this is dope.
Because I feel like a lot of the time we forget that the person on the other side of the phone is a real person, like going through real struggles, living almost a similar life as you. Like if you're in the weight loss and if you're in the weight loss community, like, yes, these people who are telling their stories, they're real people. Like, the lady who won overall in the women's division, Holly, sweetheart of a lady, incredible story, just like so deserving. She was an absolute pleasure to meet. Sleeve Warrior Jessica, if you know who that is,
okay,
a real pleasure to meet her. Yeah, I mean, so fellas, if you're listening to this, you're hearing all these like women influencers. We need more men in this sphere. I'm serious. I want to put this into perspective for you. I believe it was 56 women competed in the transformation division. Only 30 men. 25 to 30 men, I believe, competed in transformation. We need more dudes, guys. Like, and I've been saying this for a really long time. Like, the Instagram community itself is lacking males. And I know that we're out there. I was not the only fat guy kid in the world. And I know he wasn't the only fat guy kid in the world too. So
no. Don't forget when we're at the heaviest weight, there is no one else around. It's just us.
No, yeah, it's just us. But you're not alone. You're not alone. So anyway. Close that chapter. Next question.
That chapter.
You down in front with the blonde hair and the blue eyes.
Oh, there's a bug on my screen. That was weird.
That's gross.
Now he's dead. What? Gosh, where do we go from here? I guess what's the next logical step for you? You're reverse dieting, and then are you trying to like put muscle mass mean on? And yeah, I mean that's where I was.
Trying to put on some big daddy muscles.
Some big daddies.
Yeah. I want to pack on some mass. Knowing what my body's capable of, knowing what it looks like actually underneath everything is like, I got
a whole pivot for you, because I think it's super important, because I think the last month and a half has showed us, I think it's super cool within the ALG community how it has been relatively self-sufficient, which is awesome.
Yeah, shout out to everyone within ALG who's kept it going. Yeah.
Like seriously, there are some people within the ALG community that, I mean, gosh, there's too many to even convey, but knowing that like you were just hard focused. I think it's super important to be able to, this goes for all circles, guys. I know there's people in the ALG community that listen to this right now. And one of the biggest issues they fall into is they try to do too much. Mm-hmm. And they try like, I got to do this. I'm a parent. I'm this. I have this. And being able to be like, guys, I love you, but for the next 6 months, I have to hyper focus on this.
Yeah.
And it's not selfish to say that. It's not selfish to be like, for me, for the last 2 weeks with my brother and my dad, I'm like, guys, I'm with my parents. Like I'm in the hospital. Like that's just the way it is. And
absolutely.
So with that, now that we can take a breath, my brother's doing pretty well. You're on the backside.
Yeah.
Where would you like ALG to go in the next 6 months to a year?
Oh yeah. Now it's like, I really want to, like you said before, get these meetups going. I want to be out there and meeting people in real life, because, talking to everyone every single week on Zoom is amazing. And I love it. And I never want it to stop, but I want to be more involved in everyone's lives. I want to be a real person. I want them to be a real person. So definitely I would like to focus on really getting these meetups started. Obviously, and this is really from my heart to our coaching clients. Thank you for dealing with me for the last 16 weeks, especially over the last month, because as David just said, I had to literally be a man enough and tell David, hey, listen, I have to hyper focus on this. I need you to pick up the slack where I'm going to lack it. I had to have a conversation with them saying, hey, you know, like I'm here, but I'm not here. And they were very cool and open and understanding. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for that. So now it's time to really like zone in on growing out coaching because I love it. And I want to help as many people, you know, as we can. So definitely growing the coaching. That's something that we really want to do. Apparel, like I know this is stuff that you've heard us say over and over on the podcast, but 16 weeks is a really long time, you know? So like 16 weeks of me grinding out and David understanding what I was doing. There was only so much that David could do on his own. So now I'm back in the New York groove and we're ready and we're willing and we're able and we're proud and we're just, you know, this was like a door closing and another door opening in my journey. I'm a whole brand new person.
I knew that was where I was going to go. That's why I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not, what's 6 weeks? What's 8 weeks? Like, I'm not going to sit here and
No.
I remember what that was like when I was 8 weeks out and I felt like I was behind the 8 ball and I was doing the amount of cardio I was doing like, I was in my own fucking world. I literally
between
was.
prep brain, an hour and a half of cardio a day, not eating, eating, but not eating sufficiently. Like you burn out, you know, there was specific conversation where me and you had in private where I was just like, I'm burning out. Like I can't even think straight anymore. And, you know, and thank you, obviously, you know, you already know that we've had that conversation, but I love you for that. And I truly appreciate you just picking up the slack and just being there because ALG is so important. And I never wanted anyone to turn around and think, oh, he doesn't care anymore. It wasn't that. It was, I was in a bad spot mentally. And this is what pushed me through. And I know that that's going to sound really weird for a lot of people, but like, I needed this.
You just need a new goal.
Really bad. Yeah. I needed this so bad. And like, I'm so refreshed and just like back. And I feel like the old me again, mixed with some like new shit. And I have like such more appreciation for fitness and health and just the gym, just everything, man. I'm happy again, dude.
I love it.
Back, bitches.
All right, well, let's wrap this bad boy up. We got a community call here in a couple minutes. So
We do, and I'm so excited to get on because I haven't seen the fam in a while.
I think,
All right,
and it's gonna be
guys.
fun. We're just gonna chop it up. I think this community call is just gonna be, let's see when people are on. We're just gonna chop it up. There's some people that have been doing some really good stuff, and there's people that need have some hard conversations. We got a little bit of everything in between.
So without any further ado, guys, I appreciate you guys listening to this podcast all the way through. If you could please like it, you can share it, you can 5-star rate and review it. I appreciate all those things. If you want to save money on Redcon One, you could go over to redcon1.com for the highest state of readiness. You can use promo code JARPS20 and save 20% off. You can go on to realgoodfoods.com and save money by using the gains in between at checkout. You can go on to amazon.com and purchase the Accountable Life Group Journal. You can get coaching by going to www.algcoaching.com. And you can join us each and every single Wednesday night at www.accountable.lifegroup.com for the free community call. And how you access it, you just hit the events tab and it'll take you right in through Zoom. Guys, I appreciate you all for listening. Seriously, if you have kept up with us over my prep, which kind of took over everything, I appreciate you. The best is yet to come. Stay beautiful. What?
I'm gonna have one last thing. Fuck you. I'm gonna have one last thing because I think it's super important. Because like talking about the journal and everything like that. Did I tell you about one of the DMs I got? Did you? Okay, so this is super cool. Actually, it was a couple days ago.
Was it from a Nigerian prince asking for money?
No, I already got that. I should be getting $1 billion in a few weeks. I only gave him $100,000. It was for $1 billion, man. I mean, it was worth it. No, but I'm just read this quick. Just wanted to thank you for giving me motivation to push me past the last few meets on the podcast, reading the stuff in the community app. And I wanted to say I've lost 40 pounds so far, started at 385 down to 345. And I just ordered your book and the Accountable Life Journal. Hope that helped. I
spoke to this person.
Yeah. Yeah, Eric, really good guy.
Yeah, Eric. Yeah, really cool dude.
And it's just super cool feeling, just something
That was
simple.
Very cool. Very cool.
It's fun knowing that this podcast actually builds impact. During it, you don't think about it. You're just like, hey, we're just shooting the shit. I'm surprised people even listen to this. And it turns into like, dude, I've lost 50 pounds because I just listen to the podcast. Like, that's fucking awesome. Like, that's so cool. So,
David, do you have any last words?
Toodles.
Stay beautiful, stay sexy, stay accountable. Now do it.
Toodles.